Academy.
I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP, you Don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with Kiki Simone. You eat it. Life out loud.
Did you miss me?
What's up, everybody? What's up?
Hi.
Woo, woo.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard him come on like that. He's what? Hi.
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 That's all he got.
Hi. How are you? It's good to meet you.
Hi.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Hello, welcome to Life Out Loud podcast with Kiki, Simone, and friends.
What up, Kiki?
What's up?
Hi.
What up?
I think he only knows one word.
That's all we're getting today.
Yes.
Oh, we got yes. We got yes.
No.
Welcome.
No.
No,
We're-
yes.
We're
Yes,
building
no.
the words. Hi, yes, no.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, he's with us. Yes. You with us?
What's up,
I am with you.
everybody?
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the Life Out Loud podcast with Kiki, Simone, and friends. I am your girl, Kiki Simone. I am in the building. I got my boy, yes, hi, no.
What?
Boy Wonder in the building. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Let him go
What's
again.
going on, y'all?
All him said is yes.
Let him go. Let him go.
I
That's
tell
easy.
him
He say nothing else.
He said nothing else.
Nothing else.
Who is
Nothing
this?
else.
Who is this person?
We don't know who this is.
I don't need that.
Oh boy,
Him
that's
don't
bad.
know himself. Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's. Oh my gosh. Oh my
The
gosh.
whole him don't know.
A whole
Oh,
him.
him. I like that. I like that.
Him not. A whole him not know
Not know
himself.
himself.
What are you, a whole him?
I'm a whole him.
Listen, you got to pronounce because then they're going to be like, oh, old him? No,
No,
a
a
whole
whole
him.
him.
Yes.
Oh,
A
oh,
whole him.
oh.
Whole. Yes.
Make sure you put the L in there.
Yes.
L.
A whole him,
L.
because you don't want to say a whole him.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh,
Him better not be.
Listen. Or him. No.
Or
Yes.
him.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
him.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what I'm saying at this point.
It was okay.
It usually is. Okay.
Oh my goodness. And we got our girl,
Yes.
Samira, coming back again.
For the
Whoop,
third
whoop,
time.
Thank
You heard me?
Thank you again.
Thank you,
My girl,
Samara.
Flex.
Kiki. What wonder,
Samara.
thank you.
Oh,
You
we
are
are
welcome.
so gracious to have your presence
have
here
you.
with us.
Thank you
Listen.
for having me. It is my pleasure, I must
Welcome.
say.
Oh, we enjoyed you.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to Wakanda, huh?
Oh, I've been wanting to come here for so long.
Hey, listen, I know you've been wanting to come, huh?
Yes.
You enjoyed the place, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Or you enjoyed the conversation, huh?
Oh, conversation. Yes.
That is great, huh?
That
It
is
is
great.
great.
Huh?
It is great.
Huh.
What up, y'all? For our
up?
listeners that are listening for the very first time, we
Yes.
just be laughing, joking around, because it is LOL, right?
Man,
so
look
this
here.
is LOL with
Life
Kiki
out
Simone
loud.
and friends.
With Kiki
Great.
Simone.
And
Yes.
so we are so gracious and thankful that you came to visit, to listen to the podcast. Here on this podcast, we talk about real issues, real perspectives, and even real solutions. And we talk about the stuff that people don't want to talk about, people don't like to confess about, but that's what we're going to do here. And we're realistic. We like to talk about reality and make stuff practical for people to
Facts.
understand, like, what really is going on in the world and what people really deal
Facts.
with. So, and not brush it under the
100%.
rug. I would agree, definitely. So we've got a great pink elephant for us today. But before we get into the pink elephant, I want to make sure that we just kind of let the listeners get to know us a little bit. So I want to ask you, Samara, first. Let me ask you, what's the most annoying habit that you have?
Ooh. That's a great question. An annoying habit that I have.
Mm-hmm. Kind of difficult, huh?
It is. Annoying habit that I have.
Do you think that you're annoying at all at any point in time? Like,
Yes, sometimes I
do you nag people or
bossy. I
bossy?
think I can be.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rose.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, so bossy. What about you, B Wonder?
Well, you know I'm a boss myself.
Come on.
You know I got Wingstops, I got Checkers.
Oh, Wingstop sounds so good right now.
You know, get the blue cheese. Yo, tell him Rose sent you.
Oh, Rose sent me.
Huh?
I'm getting a basket of fries for free.
And you are 100%. You know, I got a habit of 50. You know, his existence gets on my nerves.
Existence.
So you know, I'm a real boss. I don't back down from nothing.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect you to.
Huh?
Now, for me,
I was like, where's this going?
listen, no, I would have kept going, but I think for me, sometimes, far as with how I remix and sing so much, sometimes that could be annoying.
You do what?
Remix or sing so much, like I can sing or rap about anything.
Oh, okay.
And that can be annoying to some people sometimes.
Okay.
If I do it too much.
If you do it too much.
I don't
Okay.
think guilty is charged, but I don't think it can be done too much because it's so much fun.
Huh?
I'm telling you, man, I love it. I get to be whoever I want
Anytime.
at any time.
I would say my most annoying habit would have to be that I pretty much I gotta have a sense of knowing what's gonna happen.
Okay.
And that can bother some people if they're very spontaneous.
Just let it happen.
So what we
asking all
doing?
them
Don't worry
questions.
about that.
I
Where
need
we
to-
going?
Just
Don't
put
worry
some
about
clothes on.
Yeah,
that. Okay.
What kind of clothes?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
my goodness.
Exactly.
Here she go.
It'll be
Intricate
very
detail.
difficult to surprise me. It would be very difficult to surprise because I ask a lot of questions because that's just who I'm an analytical person by nature. And I'm a trainer too. So I have to be so prepared. So that kind of, flows into my personal life. And so I
I
just
can
have
agree.
to,
'Cause I think I may in my questions come off bossy. I think that's my thing. 'Cause well, what about this? Or what about that? Or what about this?
okay.
But not trying to be annoying. But it happens sometimes. But how
Yeah,
many more-
people-
how many more questions could you possibly ask? Well,
We
Since
can
you
go
asked.
see it since you asked.
Since you asked, I can give you plenty more.
Plenty more.
Where they came from.
Here's some water. You're going to need it. It's going to be a minute.
So that was our little icebreaker for today. So we are going to get into our pink elephant of the day, which I'm super excited about. This pink elephant, it is going to be so good. I know I feel it. I
Brace
feel it
yourself.
coming on. Brace yourself, everybody, because our pink elephant, the herd, is coming. I want to die.
you better get out the way.
Our pink elephant for this week is separated. Stay or go.
Dun dun dun.
Separate.
Oh goodness. Oh, and we had to play this song, the Monica song, Stay or Go, because like Monica could just sing, but that song just remind me of this topic. So, I had to get that out of my system before we actually came on live.
I'm gonna meet her one day.
You gonna meet her one day?
Yeah, I'm gonna meet her one day. I'm gonna tell her, look here, come back here with Thad Wad.
Take a picture and
With
post
the
it.
what?
Or
Thad Wad. My name's Thaddeus.
Oh, that.
Dad Wad.
Thad Wad.
You are such a gangster.
Thank you.
Dad Wad.
I didn't know Thaddeus had a nickname.
Dad Wad.
I didn't know exactly. I was like, Wag. Is it Wagner? Short for Wagner? Or,
No, just Thad Wad.
oh. Oh goodness. Anyhow, so we gonna get into our pink elephant, y'all.
Yes.
And our pink elephant, as I just stated, is separated. Stay or go. So we gonna talk about what it's like when you're separated. Like, what does that mean? What does it look like? And some of the the detailed things that we sometimes don't even talk about, or we assume the other person knows what separation means. So let me
Right.
first start off by asking y'all, what does separation mean to you? Does it mean you broken up? Does it mean you still together but y'all still doing things, you just got space? Where, like, what does that mean to you? What does separation mean to y'all?
For me, it depends on what me and the individual have. Like,
Okay.
have a mutual understanding of, okay, well, what is this? Are we broken up, or are we just giving each other space? Are we, while working on other things? Like, what does that look like? Why are we separating?
But what
but-
does it mean to you? What do you think separation means?
To me, I feel like it's broken up.
Okay.
I do, because I've been through like every phase of separation, working on each other, and you give yourself space, give myself space. We still
Okay.
communicate, but it for me, I feel like it's broken up because it just drives a wedge to me.
Okay.
And for me, it can cause a disconnection to where it may not make me want to actually work on that.
Oh, okay. That's definitely a perspective. Samara, what would you say separation means to you? Does that mean you're broken up, or does that mean that you guys are just taking space?
Space, just taking space.
Okay, and so that means, okay, we're still in a relationship.
Still relationship. We still have the same boundaries. We're still respecting our relationship.
Okay.
Just need space.
Okay, so me personally, I don't think that separation means to me space. It means the same thing to me. It means having space. But I don't think that in a marriage you can be broken up because either you're married or you're not. Now you can take space within that marriage,
Right.
but I don't think that you can be broken up at all. Now in a relationship, I still think the same way. I still think we're still in a relationship because we're just saying, we're separated, because that separation means that there's something there, in my opinion, in my little head. It means that something is still there. We're just giving it a lot more room to get to where it is
So
we
you
want
can
to
kind
get
of
to.
see visually what
Yeah.
was
The goal.
and analyze all the goals and everything else.
Yeah.
As far as the end result.
Right. So that's what it would be for me. Now, have either of you ever been separated before?
Through. All the way through.
All the way through?
Time with space, still respected the relationship. Been like, I don't know. Let me fall back. Let me see. Let me see God. And I'm the type of person I respect you, and because I never want you to make you feel like you have to choose God over me or
Right.
or anything that like I get it. I respect that. Let me analyze. Let me see what can I do to make it easier for you, but at the same time, give you that respect. But at the same time, understand this can't happen too many times.
Okay.
By taking advantage of that.
Okay. What about you, Samara?
I would have to go with
Yes, have you been separated? She said, I'm going to have to go with.
You've been separated. that tell me, yeah.
well, it was, I hate to use words, complicated, but in the beginning we were separated and then it turned into being broken up. So,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I too have been separated before. And that in my last marriage I was separated, and it really, really took a toll on me because before we separated, my mindset was, hey, if we get separated, then we're gonna break up. Like that's where I'm thinking
It's
is
headed.
good. Yeah, it's gonna hit because I'm just like either you want to be with me or you don't.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. But as I've matured, I've thought about like, hey, if I were to get separated again, like what would happen would be, I know that
What would
maybe
that
there's
look
some
like?
time that needs to be there to develop self. So I've been separated before. What would you guys say are the pros and cons to separation?
Self-reflection, space.
Yes.
Those are the pros. Okay.
Pros. Cons would be out of sight, out of mind. You kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you can forget and move on and be.
And you start to explore,
Okay.
which are
quote unquote.
cons and and
I think that's what always made me nervous about separation. The fact that there's a possibility that you'll grow out of love with that person, and that's an unknown. So that can be scary. That
Right.
can be like, God, dog it. Like, what are we doing? Because like one thing I've always been assured of, like whoever I pursue, that's who I want.
right.
That's who I want to be with, no matter what we're facing. Like, and let's fight this together, not separate in a
Right.
sense. Even though separation can still mean you're still fighting together because you do see something valid that you want to kind of like. Let's just analyze this. Let's just do some self-evaluations. Let's see what we can work on, and then come back. Okay, well, what did you get out of separation? What did you learn? What do you think is possible? But again, for me, it can caused me to get in a space to where I don't want to be back in that space.
Okay.
That is
Because
a very
it's-
vulnerable place.
Because it's like,
Do you think you would just give up if that's too heavy on you?
I wouldn't give up.
Okay.
Because obviously I see something that's valuable there and that I want to keep pursuing and keep trying. But if you keep reneging and pulling back, then of course it's going to make me want to give up.
Okay. What about you, Smart? Like, I know you answered some of the pros and you did give some cons as well. Like, have you ever been kind of in a position in a separation where you're just like, you know what? I already know where this is going to head. Like, we separating, but I already know what's going to happen. So,
No, because I've only been separated once, and my separation was to work on my relationship with the Lord. So I always was hopeful that we would get back together because of our foundation.
okay.
So
Okay. I would say the pros and cons, you guys really pretty much kind of said it. The pros for me would be the individual would have the opportunity to kind of reflect and see, okay, what type of a person am I in a relationship? And is that beneficial? Is that helping my relationship? Is it not? And what are some things that are about me that I really need to work on me so that I can be better, for this other individual? I think those are the pros. And if that is in the forefront of that individual's mind, I think there's a greater chance of, of people coming back together.
Right.
I think the cons, a con could definitely be, like you said, out of sight, out of mind. If I'm not around you, then I'm kind of doing my thing. Like, I don't care about what you think about. I don't care about, you don't know what I'm doing.
No evidence,
So no
no
evidence,
case.
no case, all that definitely.
Bye-bye.
And there's potential, for somebody else to slide in.
Slide in. Yeah.
And so just being realistic about in the world that we live in, like, these are definitely potential things that can happen. But I must say, like, if God allows it to happen for you guys to come back together, then that's what's going to be. Regardless of what
it looks like.
What it looks
Agreed.
like, regardless of what tried to slip in, whatever weapon tried to come in, like, there was something, like, God can say, you know what, I can override all this,
All of
and
this.
Exactly.
and I'm a get
ultimate
them
void.
back together or whatever. But the fact that they would take time for each other, for themselves, so that they could be better for each other, is definitely would be a good thing. But those cons can scare you. I can definitely say that I was scared because I have been separated before, and I was very, very scared of the outcome because you're just, it's vulnerable. You don't know. And then you're just like, okay,
Like a deer in headlights.
you thinking about the other person or somebody coming in their life, but you got to think about, okay, what about the people that's trying to sneak up in mine now that you might be familiar with, that
they
just
watching.
they watch.
Yeah, they just want to talk.
We
They
call-
just want to,
Who
Call
want to
them-
talk?
We call them the ops.
Who want to
Yeah,
talk?
yeah.
Yeah, they want to talk. All right.
Yeah, so I definitely think that there are definitely pros and cons to separation.
Yes.
And every relationship, that couple has to know what's best for them.
Exactly.
Because it's going to be, it can be people say, no, don't separate. That's not of the Lord. Or just don't separate because this is what's going to happen. Well, at the end of the day, like, only that couple can know what's best for that couple.
And at the end of the day, that's why it's best to keep it between y'all.
In the Lord.
Two hand circle in the Lord.
Well, now they might know if they see people in different, different surroundings.
And some people don't mind sharing. Some people make it public, but at the same time, I think be
Yeah.
respectful,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
be
Definitely.
tasteful. Please.
I think also, like for me, I'm a very private person, so I kept it away as if we were still together. I still respected the relationship and things like that nature, and I wouldn't let nobody know what was going on. And the only way I would let someone know is if we both agree that this person can be in and can kind of be a mediator to where they can point out some things that we may not have seen
Right.
within each other and within the relationship. So
That's good. That's good to have that person that would be able to mediate, and to get the buy-in of both individuals. Because many times, like when we're going through stuff, he gonna go tell his homeboys whatever. He gonna tell them. She gonna go tell her girls what she gonna tell.
Yeah.
And different people are gonna get different things. So the story is gonna get all misconstrued, just
easy.
off rip, because everybody has their side of the story, and.
Exactly.
And some things are being revealed, some things are not being revealed. And so it doesn't give either side of friends the right perspective or the proper perspective, because
what's really going on.
What's really going on.
Because they're only getting a
Snippet
piece,
of
a
what
snippet.
you tell them what you want them to hear.
Now
Pretty much.
I'm gonna get a little deeper here.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna get a little bit deeper.
Get a little
I
deeper.
want to ask y'all, because this is reality. You know,
Right.
we're
True.
living in 2021, and the reality is we're not advocating for premarital sex or anything like that, but the reality is that it's happening. So for those individuals who are separated, we're going to talk about from both perspectives.
Okay.
Those who are separated, if you are married, do you think it's acceptable to sleep with other people while you separated?
No.
No. Married? No.
No.
So what about
For me,
if you
even
just in a relationship?
even that,
And you're not married.
no,
Okay.
because you're still violating the relationship.
I'm not married, so I can do whatever I want to do.
Being that you're not
being that I'm not married.
Okay.
Meaning we did not stand before the Lord and take any vows.
Okay.
I owe you nothing
Okay.
But to
Okay.
love
but
you,
respect
that's it.
and love,
So
But
do you think that sleeping with somebody else is respectful to that other person?
me sleep with somebody else has nothing to do with them. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm not taking them in consideration because who I'm sleeping with should not matter to them because you're not my husband.
Okay. Okay. Definitely a different perspective.
Very different.
I would treat the relationship just like it's a marriage. Just because for me, if I'm showing that person that I'm loyal to them, I don't want them to think that somebody else has the potential of even taking their space.
But my thing is that's too much power that I'm giving the individual over something that we haven't even stood in front of God. That's too much for me. Like, I'm really going to put my whole life on hold, stop engaging with other people to my liking because of this situation that is not been solidified. Like,
So I'm glad that you had a perspective. Let me ask you this. So what is deemed as respectful while you are separated?
I mean, if you are engaging with other people, I shouldn't know about it unless you bring the information to me, and I can't feel any type of way about it based on my stance.
Okay.
But if we're in agreement that, we can talk to other people, we can do what we want, just keep it tasteful, I'm cool with that.
Okay. This is intriguing
It
because
is.
I'm gonna keep asking Samira more questions because her
is.
responses are making me want to ask more questions.
Keep them coming.
So tasteful. How is it distasteful, or what's the difference? What does it look like to be tasteful and distasteful based off of your scenario that you just gave?
you know that we have something, but you're still posting other people and doing other things publicly.
Okay.
And I'm not doing that. Or if the boundaries are that we're doing that, then that's fine too. But tasteful would be keeping a low profile.
Okay.
Anything outside of that is distasteful. Like, what you
Do you
doing?
think you can trust somebody else after that? Like
sure.
if you're separated and you're just saying, okay, we're just keeping a low profile. Like, can you trust that other person to know that they probably could have somebody else just because they're, you done kept a low profile, you know how to do it?
I can still trust because I know I want somebody to trust me, even though my perspectives may not be what theirs are. I can still be in a committed relationship if we've had that talk, we've had those boundaries. That can be done. So I would give somebody else the benefit of the doubt too. I wouldn't be like, oh, you could never be in a committed relationship. You is just a whoremonger. Like, No.
Okay. See, I like asking questions because I'm just like, even though I have a different perspective, like I like to know, like, okay, what is this? What's the difference between this and this? So,
Exactly.
like, yeah, this is intriguing. Definitely an intriguing conversation.
It boils back to communication.
It does.
Like,
It does.
and asking questions.
And asking questions, because if our expectations are unspoken, but I know I said we was broken up, I didn't know you was gonna do that. I know you was gonna do that. Like, okay, but we didn't.
We were broken up.
And,
That mean I'm not together.
Exactly.
I mean, I do me, you do you. Boo boo.
Boo boo.
Oh my goodness, I can't with y'all. Oh, okay. So, being that you said that there's a, keeping a low profile, what's considered tasteful, and what's not is like putting them all on IG or Facebook
Like,
or whatever.
we were
While
just
y'all
together 2 nights ago. Now you finna post this whole
other
random
person
individual. Come on.
Okay, so I can understand that definitely.
I've been through every God dog it, y'all. I've been
We
through
hitting
Everything.
every angle, every hit.
Do you think that
Right.
separation is good? Does it hurt more or harm? I'm sorry. Is it good for a relationship?
It's only not good when you don't understand the boundaries and the communication that, okay, what does this look like? That's when it's not good. Because now you're really going out here like a hormonger. Like, yeah, I'm free. I can do what I want. I'm gonna post up here, like, you know what I'm saying?
Sexy,
Single.
and
And this baffles me. Like, why do we feel we have to post and publicize, I'm single, this, that, and the third.
That's attention.
And then, you just recently had a conversation. We the whole time you was keeping a low profile. But then you see the person post, and then it's just like, wow, for real?
That's what we're
doing. And then somebody talk to them because now that post ain't there no more. So it baffles me because it's just like, okay, you posting that you're super single doesn't negate the fact that this is still happening and this is what's going on because of the communication that we have.
That's playing
and the
two
understanding.
sides. That's low profile, getting your cake and eating it too.
Pretty
Keeping it low
much.
profile. We still working things out while you got time over here.
Now, if I was to do that, oh, hell would break loose.
I didn't know we was doing that. We didn't talk
Really?
about
This what we
that.
doing?
I thought you were single. But that's just for Facebook. We just talked yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I think that it just kind of brought up something else in my head when you just said that when people, are just like, okay, I'm broken up or I'm single now, and they're putting their status or whatever on social media. Honestly, that's a big red flag to me. It's a red flag to me, one, for the attention,
Yep.
but 2, that person ain't healed yet.
Definitely not
At
ready
all.
for
Because
nothing.
At all.
you just posted, I'm single now. So that should be a red flag that somebody is going through, that person is going through something and they've got to work through some issues. Because many times I think, just from my observation, when people post, "Oh, I'm single," that's saying, "Hey, I'm single and ready to mingle. I'm ready to go
no
out."
strings attached.
No strings attached. I ain't got
Like,
nothing to do. We can do whatever, say whatever,
Say whatever, do whatever.
Yeah, all that good stuff. And
Exactly.
really, that's a red flag to me because it just makes me think that you're not healed internally yet.
You're not healed internally. And was that always in the back of your mind, or were you already single? But now you're making it official
Right.
on the platforms.
And that's why a lot of times I say when one tell you that we're on pause, that's low key word for break up. Y'all broke up. To me, because it's like,
all those
if you still
variables.
can express that and then say we're on a pause, to me we're not on a pause.
No,
we broken up. Like that told me everything I needed to know. So even like when I say I've been up to every stage, it's just like it's hard to respect the relationship in the situation if the person that you're with not respecting the relationship and the boundaries and the things
Right.
you communicated. So it makes it that much more difficult, and it makes it harder for the next time that comes around if that were to happen and we need space, we need to go on a pause or this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, here we go again. So it's like it's a cycle. You start to look at it as a cycle versus a self-evaluation.
Now, what about from a marriage standpoint? Is separation good for a marriage if things are not going good?
If you mean you're going to sleep down the hallway, sure, separate yourself from room to room. That's fine. But you're not leaving this household, in my opinion, if we're married. No.
Okay.
Yeah. That opens the door to so many other
Go
stuff.
to your man cave.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So
Still be in the same home.
So for me, like when I'm going back to my first marriage, that like I have a choice. I have a choice. He sold the house, so I had to leave. Like I had to have somewhere to go. Now he did make sure that he made sure that I had somewhere to go, but it was like he said, "Okay, we selling the house, and
still
so I'm
don't
finna go
make it
somewhere
any-
else."
any
So there was from my perspective, a forced separation because he made it clear that he was not moving to where I was going. He was going his own way.
That's what I did.
Which
When the
again,
lease was
choosing
up,
for you and
Right.
and him.
But within the marriage,
Marriage,
but
yes.
within the marriage, I was like, that's what made me just think like, hey, like what just happened? Like, oh my gosh, I don't understand like why we gotta be separated. Yeah, we got stuff we gotta work on, but I don't think that we should separate. Now, what did that do eventually? It ended up in divorce. But I literally had to just get myself together, try to grow as best I could during that time. But of course, it was extremely difficult. And it took me, even after the divorce, it took me like 4 years to even look at another dude after divorce.
Yeah.
So clearly I wasn't healed, but it all started from the separation of us. Like because there was no communication. You know what I'm
Whatsoever.
saying? And except for hey, sign these papers.
you can have post-traumatic
Honestly,
stress from that.
Yeah.
That was pretty
And
abrupt.
honestly, there never is a conversation when it comes to stuff like that.
And so that's why I think it's really dangerous when people separate during marriage. But as I stated before, you have to make a decision between, for every couple is different, but it's unfortunate and it happens often, but God can still override, as I stated before, God can still override that.
And even with God overriding, we still have to take the responsibility and and have the initiative to want to work on that, because again, nothing will work unless you do.
Faith without works is
You still have to work that. So like even with that situation, and that's one of the things that really sucks. Like you can really choose for me and you. Like you already made it up in your mind that this is what's going to happen, and just because you made it to where you make sure I have somewhere to go, it still doesn't make it right. It still doesn't change the situation.
That hurt.
It's
still there.
It still doesn't take away the pain, the embarrassment, the hurt, the strife. So it really does a number emotionally, mentally.
yeah, that's abandonment.
That's abandonment. And what they fail to realize is when you're still married, even through the separation, you still have a responsibility to make sure that household is taken care of, whether you're living in the same household or
it's
not.
cheaper to keep a
Well,
Cheaper.
I'm not gonna go into a rabbit hole on that whole topic because you just said a whole lot. But we
Jesus.
did talk about some of them topics last season. Y'all go back and listen to the last season. Listen to first
One.
season. We talked about abandonment.
Catch up.
We talked about rejection.
Catch up.
We talked about all this stuff. So,
Redneck.
redneck.
yes, please make sure.
Yeah.
Well, after this episode, after you listen to the episode. What about from a relationship standpoint? You're not married. Is separation healthy for that relationship? Or like, and how many times, if so?
For me too.
Okay, so you think it's healthy to be separated in a relationship when non-married
With there's a catch with the right understanding
Okay.
of what separation is between us.
Okay.
The boundaries, we still respect what we're creating and what is forming.
Okay.
We do not kiss anybody else. We do not hold hands. We do not emotionally evolve with anybody else. Like, look, I still see us in a relationship. I just understand we got space.
Right. Right.
This is what it is. So these are the boundaries.
See
Okay.
how easy that was? If people would just do that.
I wish.
Samara said, "See how easy that was."
And now I get to make a decision. Do I or do I not?
Look at what you made me do.
So I take it, Samara, that you agree with B Wonder in regards to from a relationship standpoint.
Definitely, because but that's a whole like okay, are we shacking up, based on how I was raised? Are we shacking up, not shacking up? Like, what does this look like? What's all involved? For me, I don't like to get into the space of playing house, because in a relationship, not a marriage, if that's something that has to come, now we got to figure out who's going where, what's going, like you're starting over again, which is fine in the separation.
But your name is still on the lease.
On the lease, so I'm stuck with you for 7, 12, 13 months, whatever we signed for. And then if I do decide to leave, that's still my response. That's still my bill. If something go down, my name is on that. So
Right.
you
Definitely.
gotta take. And playing house and just dating, that's a risk. But I do believe it is good for me personally. Separation is good because I get time to self-reflect, think about what I want to do, how we're going to move next, if that's even a possibility.
So is there a
That's what
limit
you
for
really
you?
want.
Is there a limit in
My
regards?
limit would be 2, and that's just based off my current separation. Been
Ditto.
separated for 2 years, but this is our first separation. So I'm not saying that there's not a chance in the world. However, if we were to get back together and we ever separate again, that would be the last straw.
Okay, gotcha. So as you can hear, people, there are limitations in relationships
Can't be wasting
when you're
people
doing
time out here, man.
separating and things of that nature.
Cause you knew
Streets
you
cutting
wanted
up.
this candy when you pulled up. You heard
already
me?
knew what it was.
So it kind of sounds like we all have like a similar common theme when we say, what does working on it look like in a separation?
Yeah.
Self-reflection, looking at what it is that we need to do in our relationship. How can we be better for that other person?
Right.
When do you think is the right time to come back, to start coming back? That's like, I don't know. That's a good question.
That's difficult. And the only way you'll really be able to know if the person really got insight, if they really were able to pinpoint some things and make you aware of what they found out through self-evaluation.
Okay.
And because the point of separation is really to see if this is what you really want. I mean,
Can you
hands
go
down,
without it?
can you go without it? Can you see yourself not being with this person for the rest of your life? And for me, I think that I have to see improvement. I have to see progress within the midst of the separation. If I don't see progress and I see you kind of going backwards, or you still in the same place you were before, then we just have to go our separate ways.
Okay.
For me, that would be the only indicator, because
But that would be for in a relationship though, right? What about in a marriage if you were to be married, and what is that time?
that depends on how hard you want to fight.
That's good.
If I had to put a time frame on it, don't know why 90 days popped in my head, but 90 days popped in my head. I feel like that's in a marriage, if we actually had to separate, not be under the same roof, my 90 days.
Okay.
And if we come back and have a conversation, first the conversation that we have should be why we're separating and what we're working on while we're separated. If we come back and have a conversation and I have my list and you have your list, and the conversation is still about me and what I'm not doing and how I'm not meeting your standards, and you have nothing to tell me that you've changed or you've improved on, we still pointing the finger at each other, it's a no.
That's good.
And honestly, how can you point those things out and negate those things, and you haven't given them the chance to show you those things that they see and can work on? So
Ooh, that's a good one.
like you have to give the person the opportunity to show you that, hey, I have evolved. Hey, I have grown. Hey, I missed it here. I didn't get it all the way right, but I see it. So from this point, let's move forward with a fresh pair of eyes, a renewed mind, and let's work more together versus separately. Because a lot of times, it's you're still an individual within a relationship. So you still, even in the midst of marriage, got to bring the best version of you. So you still have to do self-evaluation within the marriage. And I think that's where we miss it a lot. We stop doing self-evaluations when we come together.
Oh, I think that's really good. I also think, as you were just saying that, I was thinking of when you come back together and you have that conversation, you're talking about, what you've gone through over however long the separation period has been, right. Things you've learned, what God may have shown you or something like that. But I think it's always good for each other to say, hey, I'm hearing what you're saying. I definitely want to give you the opportunity. But then we also need to be mindful that we're human and we're probably we're still growing in that area. Exactly. So we're going to have to give each other grace, because it ain't going to just be, okay, well.
It's not going to be overnight.
Yeah, it's not going to be over. Right. Because I gotta have time to work it out.
Exactly.
Now I have the mental part, which is the first step. But now I have to be able to work that out with you. And I might mess up sometimes.
Because we're creatures of habits.
Right.
Exactly.
So I have to make sure that I'm able to give you some grace when you mess up. And I'm going to want to receive that same grace when I know that I might mess up again. Exactly. So I think that that's important as well. Like when you're coming back together to say, okay, this where we at. We're going to come back together and we're gonna work on these things, but we just both gotta be realistic and understand that we're not.
Our intention is not to hurt each other, but we are human.
Right. Exactly. We just need to be able to forgive each other and give grace when needed or as needed.
And that's honestly, that's another great point of view. You gotta understand that if something like that does happen, understand it's not on purpose. Because you're still learning each other in the new growth. So there's still things that may not be on your radar because you're so used to the things that happen in the old stage. So it's still evolving and growing together.
What about when you're separated? Should there be any communication?
Definitely. Marriage or...
Okay, let's break it down. When you're married.
If my husband decide he want to cut communication off with me, it's going to be some cutting.
Okay.
I say no. We should not cut off communication. You're still my husband. I still care about you. I still want to know what you're doing, how you're doing. I still want to be able to check on you. Like,
exactly.
I don't want you just out here wandering in these streets with nobody who really cares about you and loves you, and you just out here doing stuff. Like,
and also there's still responsibilities of the household that have to tend to still, even with the wife still being one of the first priorities.
Right.
Responsibilities. Because you don't want to blindly be working on things,
right?
Because now you don't know what you're working on.
Where are we? Like, I've done my list. Hey, where you?
I mean, what we
husband?
Doing? Like, don't just have me out here,
right?
You think of what, like, communicate like once a week, once a month,
every day.
When
if I reach out and say, hey, I should get a response. Anytime I reach out to my husband,
I should still get a response. A priority.
Yeah, yes. Marriage, yes, I agree with that. But relationship,
no.
Because you got to give yourself that adamant amount of time to be able to kind of separate and really see what's going on and what it is and what's happening. Because you have to develop the sense of missing the person. If you're with them all the time, you don't miss them. Like, you just don't. And you don't want to get to a point where you're always underneath that person either. Like, you gotta talk to them every single second hour of the day. Like, you ain't got a job, you ain't got to work.
Nothing to do.
Like, you ain't got nothing to do. Like, hey, we just talked a couple hours ago. Like, me, I'm a type of person, like, I gotta have my space. Please, like, I would.
So
answer.
You still in the broken up stage? Cause so you don't think that y'all need to talk? Cause y'all in a relationship, y'all broken up.
I'm not saying like like eliminate all communication. I'm
Okay.
saying the amount of communication to where it interferes, where there's no boundaries and there's no growth. There's nothing evolving. You're still in that same cycle doing the same thing.
Y'all just in separate houses.
Exactly.
On the hamster
Okay.
wheel.
But also like, because, and this is just from personal experience, from just being in that space, like it is important that you give them their space. If they reach out, respond. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful. Respond. Hey, how you doing? You know, I'm just checking on you. Hey, I'm doing all right. You know, it's day to day. It's still difficult, but and be honest and be real where you are in the space and the time and the place of where they're checking up on you. Like, be real. Be honest. I was real and honest through the whole
process.
I'm like, look, man, this was one of the hardest days. Like, for real. Like, my eyes still red. Like, I'm left on red. Like, on red on iPhone.
What about you, Samara? When it comes to a relationship, do you think that there should be any communication? Well, you just said yes. You said
With
every day.
marriage. Yeah, as my husband, but I try to keep marriage and dating separate in the sense of, I don't feel like you should get everything you would get from me as a wife if I'm not your wife. So as my husband, yes, anytime we reach out to each other, there should be communication as soon as possible.
Right.
As a person that I'm just dating and we're taking a break, trying to see where things are going, you don't get that from me because I need my space, and we're also trying to see if marriage is even a thing. Like, we're just trying to get day by day right now. So I don't think reaching out and treating you like my husband prior to should be done.
Okay, so would you say like communicating like what, once every 2 weeks, like once a
I'll
month?
take every other day.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's much more consistent than I thought you was going to say.
Every other day is cool.
Yeah, because even in my process, it was like maybe every 3 days or so.
That's not bad.
And that's just really, and me understanding why I was in the process, like, I really didn't want to talk, but I still showed her that respect just because I still care about this situation.
Okay.
I still want to work towards this situation, so I'm not going to be crazy about it. But at the same time, I'm just being real with you how I feel.
And I say every other day and not expecting a response that day. You might get a response 2 days later or 3 days later.
That has happened. Like,
that's a pet peeve of mine.
Hey,
Yeah.
it
is.
Respect
it
my
is.
space.
I feel the same way, but I
respect my space.
I knew what it was and what had happened. So if I said to them, hey, like, it was a situation like, hey, it's crazy, this happened, and there was something that was like really serious and like that needed to tend to. Like, she just didn't. It was so much going on, so I respected that. So you have to always keep in mind that it's not that the person is ignoring you, but they can be dealing with a lot prior to this on top of their plate.
So
Okay.
want to drag you into that. That might not be something they're willing to share in us just dating and figuring things out. Like, I might not be comfortable in that area as of yet.
Well, I'm thinking if we're in a relationship, not marriage, but if we're in a relationship and we've come far enough in our relationship to say, okay, we're in a committed relationship, but things aren't going as we thought and we want to separate. If I've come that far, I'm not thinking of, I'm not thinking that I'm so far on the totem pole that you can't respond to me when I send you a text message. Like, that's, now I do get the part of like, something else might have happened. They might have not have seen it or something like that. But I'm still thinking at some point, like, I was somewhat of a priority in your life. I'm going to get some sort of response today.
But you know what? We have to also look at that. Why is it the first thing that when we send someone a message, it's automatically negative? It's automatic an attack on us because we feel that, of course, we put that person as more of a priority. And then there could be an even eye to eye, whatever the situation is. But a lot of times that's just our natural habitat to it. Nature, we always automatically assume something bad had to happen, or you feel like you're being mistreated or disrespected or not acknowledged. Like, it doesn't have to always be like that.
It doesn't have to be about you.
Right. So you still have to understand, even in this situation, it's still not about you. It's about the situation and what you have to work on within it to get to the point where y'all can kind of get back on.
Maybe I'm just, because I got different perspectives from y'all, because I'm just thinking, like, if somebody texts me, the only reason why I'm not going to text you back is, one, I thought I text you and it didn't go through. Two, I'm intentionally not answering your text because I always have my phone.
But you might be intentionally
And then-
not answering because you need your space.
Now, me personally, that's never been something for me. Like, I've always
relate.
been that person that's like, you sent me something that, okay, I'm gonna respond, and that's just how it sounds like I might be wrong just from talking to y'all, but an expectation that I have on other people that if I text you, I'm expecting a response back, like in a timely manner, and that's just how I am. You text me because you're engaging, you're trying to engage in something. Even, it don't even have to be like a long conversation. It could just still be like, hey, how you doing? I'm just calling, check on you. Or I'm just reaching out, check on you. Okay, I'm doing fine. Okay, that's it. I don't have to expect a long conversation, but at least just a response
or
back.
even like, hey, kind of tied up right now, but I'll get back with you later.
Even if you responded to say
Something to
that,
say,
that
like-
would be okay.
It's a no for me.
But I'm literally like, if I don't respond to you, if I respond to you the next day, the only reason that's going to happen is I was asleep, didn't hear it, or, something going on with the phone, or I intentionally just don't want to talk to you at all. Like, and it takes a lot for me to get to that point. I'm going to send you something back to let you know that I've received your text message.
So since you would respond, you would expect the same thing from them.
Right.
Cannot do that, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just a person of, if I'm trying to, like, if I was in your face, there's no way I'm gonna be in your face and say, hey, how you doing? And you just like, that just doesn't make sense to me. And that's the same way it is for texting. Now, if you call me and I can't, answer the phone, I might call you back the next day. Okay,
Right.
that's something a little bit different.
Or,
But
honestly, even the next few days, like for me, I have so much going on that I have to get back with you in the next few days. So I may send a text like, "Hey, I got your message. I'll call you as soon as I can," because it's like, you have people that love to talk on the phone, and you may not have that time to talk that extensively. So it at least to acknowledge the person that, hey, I did get your message. Hey, I didn't forget. It's just, there's so much going on to where it's tedious and time consuming, and it has to have my undivided attention.
I think that's courteous,
And it's just
But
being
it's not
respectful.
mandatory. Like,
Right.
don't expect it. Like, for me, that's like, if I give you $5, I am not expecting the $5 back. But if you give it to me, thank you.
I'm expecting my change.
From my
I gave you $5. I want my change back.
Hey, if
You
you
better
get it, you
change.
get it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
No, that's not. What's the Constitution say?
If you
did
take them
he
to court
say the
for-
Constitution?
What the Constitution say is that if I give you $5, you get my chain back.
you better take them to Judge Mathis.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to Small Canadian Court.
So we go, as we get ready to end this podcast, there is something, as we quickly talk about this particular question that I have, which I think is very important when it comes to relationships. And that's, how do you navigate being separated when you have kids that are involved in that relationship, whether they're biological or not? Because your relationship has brought them together. They have a routine. They know what's going on. And then, bam, y'all ain't together. Now what happens? Now do they got to choose? Like, what's going on?
Well-
How do y'all navigate the separation and explain that?
You still treat them as a priority.
Okay.
You still treat them. You still try to keep the same routine, but it's just a simple. Well, it depends. Okay. Well, what does that look like? Like, do you mean by still within the same home, but still, separated, or maybe
No, they
one
separated.
outside of the house?
One
and then-
outside the house.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Still keep them as a priority. Like, the more that you understand that, the easier it will be. again, a routine is disrupted. So then you go back to a routine. Now they're on this routine. And then let's say you get back together and you finally got used to that routine. Now you got to get back used to the old routine again. So it's you have to ask yourself, is it really necessary for us to separate with kids involved like this to where you're outside of the house? I don't think you should negate or go outside of the house, because I think you should never allow your kids to feel what you two are going through.
But do you think that, because that kind of goes, I know we're running out of time. That really goes to
Part
or
two.
speaks to when people say we should stay together for the kids. And sometimes that's not always the
That's not
healthiest
recommended.
thing.
Right.
So when we're talking about separation, are we not going to separate for the sake of the kids because we don't want them to experience something?
Well, no,
You
it's
should
not
actually
for the sake of the kids, but it's for the sake of, if this is something you say y'all want to work on, but we need to separate and see what's going on and see if this is what we really want, then it's not staying together for the kids. It's trying to figure things out. Now,
No, but when you said, should it be better for us to go ahead, should we even separate because it's going to disrupt the kids' routine? So that would be questioning whether or not we should even separate. So I'm thinking, if that's the mindset, then that's the same thing as like, should we get divorced because of the kids? Or, you know, I'm thinking that's the same mindset. But when really, as an individual, we have to have our own sanity and, you know, develop and all that good stuff. But I know it becomes a little bit more messy when you have
it
kids.
does.
I think the question should be not should we stay together for the kids, but should we actually separate for the kids? Meaning, is our relationship so
Toxic.
bad and toxic that it's spilling over into our kids?
Okay.
And
Right.
they're seeing us fighting and cussing and arguing every single day, every other day.
Is that healthy for them?
to see?
That's good.
And honestly, then that person would have to go, like,
Yeah.
regardless, because that's still,
Not
again, you don't
healthy.
want them to feel what you're going through.
Right.
Like
right.
my dad did a great job of, if my mom were ever have situation, I wouldn't know what it was because they protected me from that. One, it's not my business. I'm the child, so I have no business listening to everything that's going on with what they got going on. But again, what causes this person to where they feel they have to go outside and separate outside the home? Like, is it that bad, relationship wise?
I'm gonna oh my goodness, this is such a great topic. I'm gonna end this, like, give us something really short and sweet, because we really short for time. Something really short and sweet of what does it take to restore a relationship after separation?
God, period.
God, if men would humble themselves and call by my name,
My name, the one and only.
that
Alpha, Omega.
that form of
Okay.
you have to really be best friends with humility.
Okay.
You can't be above reproach or above
Pride got to
yourself
go.
and allow pride to lead, because you know pride comes before the fall.
Okay. So yours is God and yours is humility. Okay. So
And God isn't tied within the humility, because like when you really seek God, all these things shall be added unto you. So whatever that is,
okay, so I'm going to say that in order for a relationship to be restored, is that it takes intention on both parties. Like, that's important. God is great, but he's not going to go against your own personal will. So I think that intention from both sides
I
is
agree.
the most important thing in order to restore that relationship.
So that would
that
be
you want it.
God and faith with works.
Right.
If that's
Yes.
God's will be done. But you're
and
going
if
to
you
need a
don't
lot
do,
of God.
if you don't do one or the other, it's dead.
It's dead. Can't
saying.
have one without the
Other.
There you go.
Well, this has been a great topic. Thank y'all for
Very much
listening
so.
to the Life Out Loud podcast with Kiki Simone and friends. I've enjoyed this time. And real quick, be want to give us your handles.
Real quick, official B Wonder, official BWONDA, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you go to my website, get your merch, get your CDs, holla at your boy, see what videos is going on, www.nogroundnoglory.net, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/No Grind No Glory. Guaranteed you'll either laugh, fun, get wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Let's go. Amen.
And Samira, what's yours?
Look me up in the phone book. I'm in the first name
Google her.
spelled SAMYRA 1029. That's gonna be at Instagram, Facebook, Samira, last name Gardner.
All right. And we want to make sure that you are subscribed to the LOL podcast. That's on YouTube, LOL with Kiki Simone. That's QUIQUISYMONE. You can also follow us on IG at LOL with Kiki Simone. Also, we have Kiki Simone on Facebook, and you can follow me on my personal page, Kiki Simone on IG. So we hope that you guys got something out of today's topic, out of our pink elephant. And until next time, we out of here.
Peace.
Cook Up Academy.
I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP league you out it. Don't nobody ever be on what she be